Hello and good evening, Cosmic Explorers, and welcome to another live edition of Cosmic Insight. I'm your co-creator, Hillis Pugh, along with.
Rebecka, Gregory here. How's everyone doing? Thank you for joining us this Friday here. I am actually in Delaware at my mother's house. So I drove up here to go pick up my travel trailer. It's on its way. So here I am in a new place. How are you doing, Hillis?
I'm good, but before we get into tonight, we have a quick announcement to make.
Oh, I have a quick announcement. Mom, I'm going to introduce you to my mom. This is Mom.
Hi.
Say hi to everyone out there, Mom.
Hi, everybody.
You're live. You're all over the world right now.
Oh, I am? Oh,
Yes.
my goodness. You do this all the time?
Yes.
Around the world, you
Around the
two.
world. There you go.
Yeah, that's nice. You meet a lot of people.
Yes, we do. We're very loved. See, we got Indigo on here and Deborah on here.
Oh, okay.
She lives in Wales. Look, oh,
Wales?
Indigo's saying hi, Mom.
Oh, is she on the coming in?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we're going to get on the show. Thanks for joining us.
you're
Love
welcome.
you. Mwah.
Oh, thank you for sharing the love. Thank you for
Oh,
sharing the
get some
love.
mama love. We all need mama love.
Yes. And now that we got the mama love for the night, we are making a big announcement,
What's that?
small change to the show.
What is that?
We are starting next week. We are moving from 7 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. So just an hour earlier, you guys. An hour earlier for next week to accommodate because we want to show you how much we listen. We appreciate you guys. And so here's your answer 6 p.m. starting next week for the live shows. But if you miss it, don't fret. I always post and share the live shows the following day, so on Saturday.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And
Yes.
thank you, Hillis, for all the work that you do downloading those shows. I so appreciate you for doing it. I want to acknowledge that Hillis does a lot of work doing that.
Yes. And so I guess we can just get right into it. It's been interesting few weeks to say the least.
It is. It is.
And one of the things that crept into my thoughts, well, a lot of things have been creeping into my thoughts, but one that was really prevalent today was so I'm watching an old 80s show. What a nostalgia show for me. It just brings back so many memories. And what triggered in me is how much humanity has evolved in the past few decades, in the last few decades. Because hearing the writing, listening to it, and the quirkiness of it, and everything, from how every culture is defined by the words, the actions, the mannerisms, the things that make that we associate white people with white people and black people with black people and so forth and so on, all the stigmas.
Yes.
And it got me to think, it's like we've come a long way since the 80s, since the 70s, since all of this. But at the same time, you have what people feel are also cultural setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it that way. Yes, there's people say, "Oh, we've done all this fighting, and there's so much more fighting to do." But I'm like, wait a minute, have you really looked to see what the fighting is about, or who's in charge of what, to really understand why there's this illusion of we have all this fighting left to do, but they don't acknowledge how far we've come, or don't really appreciate the moments of the journey of all these decades.
Exactly. I think it's also, stepping into what's happening right now in, the fear versus love, what we're moving through right now, and how collectively in the consciousness right now is shifting and changing to open up, to expand. And, I'm the sea, the lovely thing that shut down the world, was a huge thing to open up the world to a brand new way of thinking and living, talking all about, talking about that, Hillis, in
Yeah.
that, we're we're, it brought up this space to bring that community back together for people, families come back together, that,
Yeah.
all that to move all that energy from over the years, that and bring those borders down. People got to explore who they were instead of so focused on working and
Hmm.
being busy, and being stuck in all the patterns from the lineage, as you talked about. To have time to kind of sit back and evaluate what is important to them now. And I think that's, huge thing that's going on right now. People are in a space right now where they are evaluating how they want to function going forward, and so much is falling down from what you talked about of the history and this, and that coming together of, not only races, but, sexuality, and, there's just layers of things, how your relationships are, everything's morphing into something uniquely different right now.
Yeah. It's
But
the space of allowing the evolution to see where we are,
mhm, mhm,
to see what is being unraveled and also gifted at the same time.
exactly.
Because people, and I'm just going to speak to, my experience as being a black gay man, okay?
Yeah, you covered all, Hillis. Yeah, perfect example.
Yeah, and people talk about, you know, the strife, and I witnessed it, being almost mugged at, well, not being almost, but being mugged at knife
Mhm,
point, being, in the space of a community that people seem to forget how to support one another,
mhm,
but then also we turn against one another because, well, you're not supporting me, you're not loving me, and so if you don't support me, you don't love me, and so then it goes out to a dog eat dog world, and one fend for themselves, and then they all want to come back and sing kumbaya, but it's more than that. It's all about the heart space, and so
mhm.
when you acknowledge, okay, so you know what? I understand what it means to have civil rights. I understand what it means to have human rights. I understand what it means to just have a voice in this world. I get all of that
Yes.
because I lived through that, but identifying who I am, but it's not the identifying with who I am anymore. It's identifying with my heart, identifying with my soul. And in that, that's where the fighting has to stop. I mean, the fighting of inner race fighting, number one, inner whatever fighting, and just end it all. Because every time you look up, there's always somebody saying, "Oh, well, we have to fight for our rights as these people. We have to fight for our rights as these people." Well, then, if that's the case, then let's restructure our lives. Let's restructure who we are. I mean, if it when it comes down to it, restructure the government, or just get rid of it altogether. I mean, if we have to get political and talk about it, let's be real with it, because in essence, that's what people, you know, when it comes down to it, is fighting things or fighting structures or fighting the constructs
Mhm.
that have been in place for all this time. But and how do you get around something like that? How do you fight something like that? It's in the heart.
It is in the heart, and I love all the points that you just made, and, in saying that, it's just, it's starting to look at people, because people function in this world, from dysfunction, perfectly. Most, 90% of humanity out there functions from their hurt inner child, of everything that's happened to them as young, that they carry on, and when they're, they haven't done the work to clear all that, so they're constantly triggered or respond from a 4-year-old, and so that fighting and everything is that scared little inner child, a lot of it, and I think,
Mhm.
Oh, something bit me. I think it, it really stems into looking at people at the higher point of the divine that they truly are. And not,
Mhm.
their stories. We get so everybody gets so caught up in their stories and where they've been and what's happened, and the bottom line is it's looking past that and seeing the divine beauty that everyone is connected to everyone, and in that wholeness and in that love and in that heart. You're exactly right. And also in saying that, also learning to back off and not having to be, get out of the duality of the right and the wrong, the good and the bad, and all this. And just, I love the interesting, just acknowledge people for who they are and where they are and what they've gone through. But you don't have to buy into it. Just look past that as, whatever they're showing up at that time, that hurt little energy, see the truth in what's being shown in front of you, in the hurt that's being expressed in that moment, and know that's not it's not the truth of who they truly are.
Yeah,
But let
you
go of
know,
judgment and just allow people to be who they are in a space, and I was talking funny, remember when I called you earlier today when I had what did I call it? My roadside
yeah, roadside infatuation, as I call it.
I don't know, whatever. So when I driving, I always like have things that happen to me. So today I'm riding along pondering life, and it talks about the history and everything. What I'm about to say is like, I was driving along and they were doing construction, and I noticed all these homes like were right on the new road, and they were all kind of abandoned. You could tell they had been.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This
and
part. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm like, oh my gosh, society is still displacing people from their homes.
Right. But I want to go back to what you were just talking about because I don't want to lose the point of attraction of that,
Okay.
and how you have a world, a country, a state, a city, a family, an institution, a business being ran by hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want everyone to feel into this for a moment because this is really important, especially now. We are living in a space that's being ran by hurt people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Though be it we are in this process of this 4D evolution as we move into 4D energies,
Mm-hmm.
as we move into this on a planetary level, into a collective level, eventually all of that is going to fall away because you can't hold on to that energy in 4D.
No.
And those who are in 3D, they're going to do whatever to hold on to that.
Mm-hmm.
So just think of the world in this energy. Okay, go ahead.
I just have this vision of all these little kids throwing hissy fits right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what
No,
it
a little
is.
kid tantrum is what's happening right now.
Right, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's these people that's in this space that don't want to let go.
Mhm,
And I speak to this also in the space of the clients that I work with. We have some semblance of holding on to something that never grew up. Why do we have our favorite teddy bear? Why do we have our
mhm,
favorite
mhm,
blanket? Why do we have our favorite thing from childhood? Because it brings us comfort. It gives us that peace. It gives us that moment of letting us know that everything's going to be okay, regardless of what it is that we are experiencing or going through. Whether
exactly.
it's mental abuse, emotional abuse, being abandoned, or sexual abuse, or what have you, it doesn't matter what form this hurt is taken on. This object holds this comfort, that letting us know that everything's going to be okay. But as we grow older into our 20s and 30s, we're still holding on to this
Mhm,
energy of that person hurt me and I'm never going to forgive them for this, and just go off on this tangent. But the real person you're hurting is yourself because you're not
mhm,
allowing yourself to evolve.
exactly.
And so it's just in that we have to allow ourselves to evolve and say, I'm done with it.
Exactly, exactly. And I love that you talked about your history. Once again, on my journey today, I went a different route. So I was like driving kind of where I grew up, in areas that I grew up, and I was like started had all these crazy thoughts about things that happened. Like, why am I thinking about that? I didn't even know where I was. And then I realized like the town I was in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm here. And it was just like I
Mhm.
was having these feelings like come up as I'm driving through these different experiences I've had in different areas. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I forgot how that felt. Even and some of them were really good feelings, like, oh my gosh, I forgot that magical part of me. You know what I mean? And how that felt, because I've been so caught up in this, or, so it was really cool kind of taking that journey. So it's like you could take the journey back in time, but don't get stuck and attached to what happened. But look at it to kind of like navigate where you are now. Because then I was feeling, oh, I need to bring that back into me, or I need,
Yeah.
oh, I don't remember that feeling. No, 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 that needs to go. So it was a great navigation for me today to feel all these different emotions with the energy behind it to say, oh, I need, just to kind of help move through some stuff that I still had swirling around in me that I needed to clear out so I can open up to a new space to move forward.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it is. I mean, through, and you know the work that I do, and
No, I
by
didn't. I'm sassy tonight.
yeah, and so through the work and connecting with people, and the only way that I know this because I had to do it myself is that when we hold on to everything, there's no room for anything else. So how can you grow? How can you evolve? How can you literally grow up from that 4-year old?
Yeah,
How can you be a 50-year-old person, but yet being in the mindset of a child? I mean,
exactly.
it's unreal. Go ahead.
And and there's a twofold to that as well. When we hold on to those emotions and hold on to that worry, that shame, the guilt, whatever we're holding in our body also forms what in our body? Dis-ease.
Yeah.
So, those energetic blocks can get stuck in your body in places that can form pain and other things as well. Because we're not looking at it out here, and it's getting all the way down to the physical part of us. And that's another thing that can happen when you function from that space of not releasing that energy. You keep it locked, and once you can open it and let it go, it gives you more room to create. And that's what we need to do right now. We need to create a new world and a new energy from a heart space, from a place of love, from a place of kindness, of looking at everyone out there in this world in a space of love, no matter what they do.
Yes.
You don't have to
Exactly.
agree with what they do. You don't have to agree with what they're doing, but hold that space of compassion and love for them, that they find their way. And that's how we shift this world.
Well, you know what, and you triggered something in me in that moment
I trigger
again.
you? Oh,
Well, no, because there has to be a different way, another way of doing it. I
of doing
mean,
what?
because we had this discussion before. We talked about holding space.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
just want to bring up this comment from Indigo. I just want to take this time to say
awesome.
hello and thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Hello, good evening from our uh, local and foreign international viewers. So thank you for tuning in. But that phrase for me,
Which phrase? I
holding space.
Holding space. Okay, yes.
That phrase, it doesn't have any meaning for me anymore. It doesn't.
Awesome.
It and actually just getting a bit emotional because what is holding space now? I
Mhm.
mean, and that phrase to me feels like you are putting someone in a container, that you're limiting someone else.
Mhm.
And when we have lived our lives in a container, of these self-limiting beliefs, when we have lived our lives in a container of not being who we were meant to be, when we lived our lives living in a container, seeing ourselves through someone else's perception, you
Mhm.
know, and someone like me saying, "Oh, I'm going to hold space for you. Where you're going to put me in jail? You're going to put me in prison? What are you going to do with me?"
Mhm.
And so holding space, that phrase is such a term in our community.
Yes.
But what we should be doing, and I found myself doing it more and more, saying, I'm honoring you where you are. I'm meeting you where you are. And if you want to hold my hand where you are, I'm willing to do that. It's about being there where they are. It's not like, okay, I'm going to put this box around you just let you explode and see what happens. I'm just going to put this box around you and see if you're going to come out of this box strong, if you're going to break through. I want you to have that breakthrough moment, because that's what holding space is. People want people to break through whatever it is. They're going to break through that bullshit and just be done with it. But how can somebody break through the bullshit if you're going to throw them in a box?
So
They
that's
feel defeated, some people. It's like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that's interesting. You have that point of view around holding space, because for me, holding space is exactly just what you explained as far as holding somebody's hand. So
Yeah.
so it's different, two different. So this is awesome because it's like two different points of view around one word. So
Yeah.
my point of view of holding space, the way I look at it, is to hold their hand, to detach and just be that light for them as they go through whatever they want, holding their hand and just being there for them, but
Right.
not give interjecting anything or closing them down, allowing them to have the space to find their
Right.
way through whatever they're going through with just holding their hand and being there for them in that space of love and compassion.
Right. So why say holding space now? I mean, we should just get rid of it, because I don't know. I mean, that makes me uncomfortable.
That's
Holding.
what I'm saying. Exactly. You have a different, like, your point of view is the same, and mine. I'm fine with holding space. So it's
Yeah.
just so cool because and this is a perfect example of what we were just talking about. You
Yeah.
can have your, like, okay, so let's ask you right now, Hillis, what word would you like me to use in place of holding space?
I honor you where you are.
Okay, I honor you with where you are.
I mean, because to me, that's more supportive. Because in the
Exactly.
world right now, we have to have this support system through this space and evolution of change and transformation.
Hmm.
And so, me, I'm all about words, and
Oh,
and
I
so
know, and I'm not. So
and yeah, I know you're more about the feeling and the incantation
see,
behind
I
it.
love that we had this conversation because we had totally the same definite. You just the word
Yeah.
was really different. Like it triggered you. To me, it's just this is what I
But
like.
before, it didn't trigger me. So, when someone says holding, that word to me is the
Holding.
same as limiting.
Gotcha.
And then space, spaces could be space. It could be as small as a room or as vast as the planet.
How
But
about instead of holding space, expanding space for you?
I like that.
We
I
came
like
to a
that.
common ground. So now, from now on, I will not say holding space anymore. We'll say expanding space.
And see, this is
Awesome.
how creation happens. This is how we evolve, people.
Hmm.
We evolve through understanding the meanings, the birth of words and situations and why things happen. I mean, people often say it's if we don't know our history, we're doomed to repeat it. Right now, history is construed. History has its space, has its moment, but right now the history doesn't really show who we are unless we know the absolute truth. And right now, no one knows the absolute truth. I mean, unless you find a time machine, you go back in time. That's the only place that will be relevant. But I like what Colette says here. She says holding space means giving people the room to be
See,
who they are. Oh, it's like who they ate. Colette, who do they eat?
who do they eat, Colette?
It's not boxing them in, holding space for me or supporting. So yeah, so this is why the word holding triggers me, because the word holding is limiting. Or we can even say I'm hugging space, a comforting space, something that soothes someone as they go through the space of transformation.
So we've come to the conclusion this is just a word you do not like in this situation.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. I've been in many of plant medicine ceremonies.
Hmm.
And
I
when
know.
when
You were
you're
in the
in
North
that,
Gate.
huh?
You were the North Gate.
Yes.
Hmm.
And so when you're in that space and you're in the womb, so to speak, of the earth, of the planet, yes, Mother Earth, she is holding you in that space. She's cradling you, she's nourishing you, but at the same time, it's not in a limiting fashion. So it is in that space. So yeah, it's just all in context, and the context for me to say someone I'm holding space. No, I'm giving you this chance to be who you are, to expand, to grow, to be all that you can be outside of that, and move from that inner child who's been hurt, damaged, and broken, and then step into this 50-year-old body who is loved and nurtured and living from experience.
Hillis, I'm really glad this came up like this because it's just a perfect example of what we were talking about earlier about looking at people and not getting out of duality and communicating with people. And, because we both have two different points of view on the word holding space.
Yeah,
We came to a co-creative way to work together without judging each other for each other and listened. Like I listened to your point of view, you listened to my point of view around it and the word. But yeah, we came together in a happy medium, and
yeah,
we were able to talk about it. So this is what we need to do, people. We need to be honest and open up. And if something's not flowing right with you, the something says, bring it up like we did. And talk
yeah.
them out and not judge them for it. Allow them to express how they feel. And it's okay. Hillis can have his expression for it. I have my expression for you. And that's okay. Well, Hillis has his expression. So we're going to take that out of the conversation. And we're to appease Hillis tonight, we are going to start expanding space. I
Yes,
love you.
yes. I love you too.
Oh my God.
Uh, um, And so, just a real quick announcement for those who are watching on Facebook. We are moving into the spirit question portion for tonight.
Oh, is it that time already?
Yeah.
Shoot.
I just want to say that if you're watching this on Facebook and if you would like to ask a question, please be sure to scroll down to the bottom of the description and click that it's okay for StreamYard to access your information so that way we know who you are as opposed to just being the generic Facebook user. Thank you. Uh, I know it's the energies, it's the
It's like
jovial energies.
I have some
Yes,
people all around me right now. It's like,
yeah. It's gorgeous energy. It's And just want to say hello to everyone who just tuned in a few minutes ago, to Robin and to everyone else who watches us.
Andy and
We
Ellie.
appreciate
And
you.
yes, we
And
appreciate what
no, I was just saying we appreciate you guys.
we do. We just love doing this on Friday nights. I know it gets me going for the weekend and helps like clear things and just being there and just, the support from you guys just warms my heart every time. So thank you.
Awesome. Um, and Robin, the reason why you didn't see anything is because we can see your name. It's for those who we can't see. And so thank you for your due diligence and checking in on that. And before we begin answering questions, just want to thank everyone for tuning in this week. And just a reminder that next week we are going to move the show from 7 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern, an hour earlier, so that way you guys can tune in a little bit earlier, have the rest of your evening to do with whatever, have fun, enjoy, digest the show. And as we honor your time, also honor our time. Thank you for
Yes.
the donations that you send in to support us because our time is of value just like anyone else's. I mean, we
Yes.
do this out of the kindness and joys of our hearts to connect with you. And if you find this show of value, we ask that you click in the description to send us heart donations. And that keeps the show going, guys. We do it every night, not every night, every week, every Friday, just for you.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. The puppy's in the other room trying to untie my mom's shoes again.
Awesome. And Princess Angela, You're always on time, my dear. Don't worry about it.
Uh, there's you know what is time anyway. You're exactly
Yes,
where you need to be in the moment of the now that you need to be.
exactly.
I like to call
And
it fashionably on time.
and so Ellie, um, my dear, you have. Oh, no, I thought you had one ready, but I'll go
No,
first.
no, I just have one set of cards with me here that I brought with me. So,
So Ellie, my dear,
oh shoot.
what I feel for you is that you are definitely on the right path. Um,
Mm,
for everything that's opening up for you, just continue to have patience in that, to have the patience for things to unfold. But the grief from
mhm.
the situation that I'm aware of that I'm not going to mention on air right now because I know it's very personal. Just know that um, the forgiveness for that has been received, and that all is moving in a better space, in a better form, and a better information for you. And to know that this individual is also here to be of service and assist you until what is needed to be fulfilled will be fulfilled. But everything else for you is right on target, right on time, for a new beginning for you to open up. So let go of all the patient. I mean, let go of all the fear and anxiety, and step into the energy of trust. Rebecca.
Okay, first of all, the name Randall's coming to me. I have this energy running my back. I don't know if it's for Ellie or if it's for somebody else. So if Randall means anything to anyone, I got this presence with me. That's Randall. So I don't know. I'm just going with what's coming. But for you, Ellie, what it had, right now I feel like you went through a really, really tough situation. What you need to do right now is quiet the mind. You've been monkey mind around everything that happened and expanding out and like self-sabotaging you all yourself all over the place around something that happened. It's time to like go within because there's this fire inside of you that's coming up right now. And it's just bubbling up, it's just boiling up, ready to explode and come out as you move through this energy. So it's almost like an energy right now that's coming where you've got to go like this into that center of you, and move it up and out. And that's what there's that's this was coming through, is to move into the energy, to go within, just to release everything, to build everything up so you can open up and expand out and I feel like there's a lot of gifts coming your way, in many different layers. So by doing that and opening that and clearing that channel, that'll help you and breathe. I'm getting to do some. Have you ever done breath work before? I'm getting to do some breath work to really breathe right now to move that energy through you. So that's what came.
Yeah, that's pretty much um, right on target. Can you guys hear me okay now?
What?
No, because someone was saying my speaker was echoey. That was maybe because you had your deck of cards on the laptop earlier, so it made everything echoey.
Oh, it could have. You never know what I'm gonna do.
It was Rebecca's fault, you
There's
guys.
no fault. It was what was supposed to happen. Your voice is
So
going throughout the universe now
yes,
in a whole different vibration.
yes, and so Miss Indigo, um,
Clear now.
yeah,
Who's next?
Miss
Oh,
Indigo, any divine messages for me? I'm just gonna laugh,
why?
my dear, because this is for Indigo. I'm just gonna laugh because you already know what you need to know. Now's the time to put everything in action to move it all forward. I mean, everything is already lined up. Everything's already in its place. What does it say?
A powerful release.
see, see, you already know what you need to know.
Exactly.
Everything you just have to start taking action.
Yeah. And step into the love of you and start discovering. things that you start challenging yourself to discover things that you've been afraid to discover before.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Miss Indigo. Thank you, my
Thank
dear.
you, Indigo. Woo.
And then
Yummy.
Gamby, any messages
Hello,
from
Gamby,
you?
darling.
Um,
Mm.
what's interesting? Hey, your cards on the speaker. Yes, they are. Yeah, okay. No cards on the computer because it makes an echo. um, so what's coming up immediately from me for you is to have patience around your new venture, because I feel like you wanted to go, 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 and be like instant and things start happening, but you have to have patience around it, whatever this new venture or idea is, because everything's not lined up yet. So you just have to give it a few more months. Before things line up perfectly, before everything could be executed the way that it should, so it could sustain you in life, in business, in what you are asking for this energy to do for you, because you have manifested this. So just put someone in charge, meaning a spirit guide, put one of your guides in charge of this and give all fears, worries, concerns over to them so that we can go off and enjoy your life, do what you have to do, but still be mindful of what needs to be done. And so when someone's in charge, you kind of like relinquish that. And so they step in that role because sometimes guys get bored and they need something to do as opposed to like, oh, what am I going to do? Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, so, give them something to do. And so then that could possibly accelerate the process of this venture for you, my dear Rebecca.
So I don't know that this phrase is coming to me. Don't hesitate. Learn to resonate.
I
So
like
that's what's coming through, and I'm feeling right now kind of traveling to the past in order to tap into the beauty and the brilliance of what you forgot you are, to open up the gift that you have to give this world. And by traveling to the past to release and let go, you can move forward to grasp what is yours.
I love that. I love that. That's absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
And so, Robin, we need to connect, my dear. I know you've been busy, but we have to connect. Because there's a lot of things waiting for you. Every time I see your name on these, there's things that have to happen for you. But would there be some guidance for the journey ahead, for some for some subtle changes going on? I guess I just kind of said it, because I mean, it's time. It's time for you to allow for yourself to be open to receive what you're asking for you to be open up to make time for yourself. Because as you make time for yourself, you then can allow for expansion and growth that you're having, the expansion and growth that you're having for yourself. And with that expansion and growth, everything's going to come in. Everything's going to come flooding in because you're loving yourself in a new way and you're giving yourself the time to go and to grow and to be and allow and all this beauty that is waiting for you. And it just starts by releasing the attachment of the old and finding time for you. Feels good. Rebecca?
I lost my train of thought. Let me.
I know because you got distracted by the speakers.
No, I got struck when you were talking. I was like in it. So basically, what had come in. So basically, darling, start listening to the stories you're telling yourself. That's it. And write yourself a new story.
Yes, I like that.
Write yourself a new story. Sit down and write out the story you're listening to that's keeping you stuck in this loop. and then rewrite that story and rephrase it, reframe it,
Mhm.
and move on to create the story that you truly desire. And that will be it.
Um, just want to say, share Ellie's comment. She says, "Thank you both. I am working on breath work and grounding." Yes, yeah, yeah. We'll talk later, my dear. There's other things, yeah, but we'll talk later. Um, I got a little scared after I sent that call. Okay, feedback. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anybody. Is that it for
Lisa's here.
questions? Huh?
Lisa just jumped on.
Hello, Lisa. How are you? Oh, wow. So I guess we're caught up on questions. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone,
Thank
for
you.
thank you, Spirit, because this is like moving. It's just moving, and I appreciate that.
Did Lisa want a card? You need to do a
I
message for Lisa.
Well, you can pull one. I haven't seen it. Lisa hasn't asked, but you can definitely.
I'm just feeling. I'm making my own energetic decision here.
Yes. Uh,
Hmm.
oh.
Oh,
Oh,
Deborah.
wait.
Did you miss Deborah? Deborah?
No. No, Deborah's next. You're doing Lisa because you said Lisa. And
Yes.
Lisa said yes, please, always.
So, hmm. Get out of the circle. It is what it is. See beyond where you are so you can step into the new you and open up the gifts that are waiting for you.
Hmm. Yeah, I am feeling this time the shyness is over. It's time. It's for you to step out of that shyness, Lisa. For you to fully embrace who you are. No more excuses. No more using the family. No more using this, or this as an excuse. It's time for you to like really jump in there because it's time for all of us. And when I say all of us who were meant to do this work, no matter what label you use, it's all time for us to fully embrace that. So, Lisa, it's your time. Embrace that of which you have asked to embrace now. Now, 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 now. Um,
Deborah.
Deborah, well,
Deborah.
you know, Wait. Okay, I'll say this afterwards. Say it because there's something that has to be said, but this can wait till after we're done with Deborah.
Why don't you say no?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
No. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in charge of spirit. Spirit's not in charge of me.
Okay, then. So, on that note, um, so my dear, what I'm feeling for you is, I'm sorry, the words are coming out. I can't put them together. Remember that birds of a feather flock together. And what flock do you want to be in? I feel like you're moving forward in a whole nother way, but there's some interesting people around you that it kind of what we talked about tonight that are kind of holding you back from expanding out into this new part of you. I feel like there's a big struggle. Like you want to move forward into this new way, but this little group is kind of keeping you from making that step or allowing you. I should say you need to make the choice to make that step and not allow them and their beliefs to hinder. It is what it is. They are who they are. To step in and just breathe and move through it to expand out and and know that it's okay if you are who you are, and don't let
Yes.
anybody knock you down from that space. You
Yeah.
open your heart and you be the truth of you, and don't let anybody knock you down anymore. It's time to
Yeah.
take the journey forward and know that you are loved, you are supported, and you are not alone on this journey. And there's so much around you supporting you on both sides. So remember that and
Yeah.
step into that and embrace that because it's time. You've been allowing yourself to suffer for far too long.
Yeah, and I just want to say I am 100% with Rebecca on that because I was just feeling it's time for you to be yourself. It's time for you to step into that space. It's time for you to be expressive in that energy, uh, and get out of that container, that box you put yourself in. It's time to be Deborah. It's time to be this woman who you are envisioning yourself to be. So, Rebecca, thank you for that beautiful
And be
message.
quirky and cute and quirky and unique and have fun.
Princess Angela. No more I'm sorry's, Princess Angela. No more sorries. Um, and it's interesting that I say that because there's no need for you to make excuses for who you are anymore. And this is the message. Sorry. So it's the time for you to make excuses for yourself, to say I'm sorry, to apologize. It's done. I mean, there's no need for you to continue to uh, fulfill that space, to live in that space anymore, because you're much more than that. So you have to honor yourself in who you are. You have to honor yourself in your presence, honor yourself in the joy, honor yourself in the expansion and an awareness of who you are. And when you give yourself excuses or when you apologize, you take away your power. You lose your power, and you unconsciously just give it away. So it's now time to regain all of that and to step into who you really are, and own that and be present in yourself, be present in your being. Rebecca.
I'm seeing where I want to start with this. So it's time to allow your heart to heal. It's time to open your heart. It's time to know that you are worthy to receive love. And in that expression of receiving love, you're going to open your world up to a brand new place of you.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, going inside and realizing and remembering that the outside is just kind of our messenger of what we're avoiding on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can look at that as a messenger, you can take the journey inside to go within to allow that healing to happen, to know no matter what happened, it was just a story that happened. And I know there's emotional triggers and everything around it. I'm not denying that that's part of the human experience. However, when you can step in the place of forgiveness to open your heart, that wall will come down and love will come rushing in. And the universe is asking you right now, and ask yourself, are you ready to receive that? And if you are, allow it to happen, my dear.
Yeah.
Allow it to happen.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that will happen if you do that is that you will feel unconditional love for the first time in your life. And
Beautiful.
that's my message.
Beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you for that, Rebecca. And thank you everyone for watching and connecting and tuning into these messages. If they resonate with you, take them to heart. Step into the joy of the love that is showing up here for you in this moment.
Hey, Mom,
So,
do you want to come sit for the angel healing at the end?
and so as I was as Deborah's message came up, I'm just getting a bit emotional right now. And this is why I told Spirit to wait, because I knew this would happen. Um, I honor each and every single one of you that tune in weekly, that watch us, that like our posts on social media, everything. But I think it's a little time for a little tough love right now. We all are going through something in our lives right now, whether it be personal or not so personal. But yet, you guys show up every week looking to us for answers. But we're not your answers. We're just answering what you have already known. And we provide you with the validation of what you already know. I mean, this isn't us. This is your soul, your spirit, your team, your guides, the universe speaking through us to provide you with the validation that you know. And I say this to you to start looking within yourself, to start trusting yourself, because it took me a while to get here. It took me a while to trust who I am, to trust myself with these abilities, to trust my relationship with the universe, to trust, and even still times I struggle with trusting that energy. But it's something that I do every day. And if I don't allow myself to trust what I feel, trust what I know, then I'm allowing myself to fall victim to whatever falls in my lap, and not be the master of what I've asked for, not be the master of what is living in me. And if I have not been able to do what I do, I can't show up for you. So I'm asking each of one of you now to step up into that energy of trust, to trust yourself, to trust what you feel, to trust what you know. So then that way, when someone approaches you, you can be a message to them. And this is how we move forward. This is how we evolve. This is how we do what we do on a collective scale, on a collective level. And if you aren't willing
That's it.
to step up and trust in that, then I'm not sure what your place is in the universal scheme of things on the planet right now. If you are not willing to step up and trust what you feel, what you know, and communicate that, then I don't know what your role is right now. Because none of us right now are spectators. None of us can afford to be a spectator on what's happening right now. There's no room for that. So if
Nope.
you are choosing to be a spectator, then I'm sorry, life isn't going to change for you. As Indigo received that card earlier ago, powerful move. Now is the time
Mhm.
for you to trust yourself.
Mhm.
And I
Exactly.
can say that in personally working with Indigo, I have seen dramatic changes in her because she chose to show up for herself. And if everyone decides to show up for themselves and take that moment for themselves, the universe, the energies around you will respond tenfold, if not more, to support you. And
Exactly.
I can see that in myself this week and how things are rapidly changing for me. And I sit here week after week, living through example, living by experience, and I know Rebecka is doing the same thing. And there's not a day that her and I don't talk. But we are validating each other because we have the courage to speak for what we want. We have the courage to say, I need a little bit of help, but in order for me to get that help that I want, I have to step into it first. And if you're not willing to step into it, then no one can help
So we're expanding space for you as
you.
you all step
Yes.
forward and step and say yes to you.
Yes, 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 yes. And that was the message that came in
Gotcha.
when so Deborah, I thank you for triggering that moment because you triggered that, but that message was for everyone.
Man, you're all full of triggers tonight, Hillis.
Bang bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
um and so I just wanted to put up, what, yes, Hillis, you are correct. I know. And then Ellie, you also have felt emotional too with this. I'm willing to keep moving forward. Yes, exactly. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. And I guess it's time for the tune up.
We'll do a little tune up. And
Are we
Mama's
going well,
Mama's waiting for dinner. She's had dinner ready. So just let you know. Short tune up tonight.
All right, short tune up because
But
hot
I'm
dinner's
tired. I've been
waiting.
driving all day.
I just want to share this message really quick from Indigo.
Awesome.
Beautiful message and meaning and loving message straight from your heart. I appreciate you and Rebecca so much. The universe brought me to you both for the knowledge I need. Oh, we love you too, my dear. And so,
We're all on this cosmic exploration roller coaster together. So I appreciate you guys and so much, and sending so much love out to everyone.
yes, indeed. And
Okay.
so, as we now prepare to open the space to transmit this message to those who are watching this, to allow for the hearts to be grounded and connected as we open this energy to Rebecca and to those who are watching and background in the circle of collective energy.
So I want everybody right now just to take a deep breath in. Allow your body to relax. Allow yourself to go into that space in the center of your heart and sit there as the observer as you allowed yourself to expand in this moment. And I want everyone right now to say yes to themselves. They're ready to take that step forward. Give themselves a big hug. And we're going to call in the angels. Mother, I have Mother Mary all around me tonight, and Jesus. So we're going to really bring in those energies and the angels tonight, just to like bring ourselves into this loving space of unconditional love that we can find it within ourselves. And on the heart. Mm. Thank you.
And thank you. And just want to show this message from Deborah. I really appreciate that. Honestly, from the both of you. Yay.
Now the tune up. So feel all that love in your heart right now, and just leave the show tonight with that space.
Yes. And thank you, everyone, for showing up and honoring us with your time and your presence. And remember, next week, 6 p.m. Eastern, so an hour earlier, guys.
Okay, and I'm going to say something. And Mom, you're going to hear this too. I am sitting in my mother's house, with my family doing this show like this. And my mother's very religious and Catholic, community. So I did this show. So if I could do that at home with my mother and do this sound, you could do anything. I got faith in you guys.
And until next week, everyone, keep exploring.
Yeah.
Keep exploring, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Till next time, 6 o'clock, remember, not 7. Mwah. Keep on exploring.
And be the change in you.
All right. Don't limit yourself. Create yourself. Be the change in you.